Welcome to the Gretel Instructional Video Series. My name is Janelle Mann, and I'm a PhD student at Queen's School of Business. I designed this series to help you learn how to use Gretel to perform econometric analysis and have tailored the content to that covered in courses by Dr. Sefton. Each video starts with a title slide followed by a roadmap and ends with 3 key points to remember. The videos are designed to be hands-on and will be the most effective if you follow along and actively participate using Gretel on your own computer. Let's get started by moving on to the roadmap for this video. The 5 items that we will learn to do in this video are as follows. First, we will install Gretel. Next, we will download data series from CanSim. Third, we will import data into Gretel. Fourth, we will create a time series plot. And fifth, we will learn how to define new variables. The only thing that you will need to follow along with the video is access to the internet. Now let's get started by installing Gretel on your computer. We will cover how to install Gretel for a Windows operating system, although there is also a version of Gretel for a Mac operating system. If you have already installed Gretel on your computer, you can skip to the next roadmap slide. To download Gretel, go to the website gretel.source4ge.net. On the left-hand side of the screen, select Gretel for Windows. You will want to make sure to install the official latest release. In this case, it is April 22nd, 2011. Click on the exe file gretel-1.9.5. After clicking, it will take about 5 seconds before a new window opens. Now, select Save File. After it is finished downloading, locate and open the file. Once you open the file, click Run and follow the on-screen instructions. After the install is complete, open Gretel. If you are following along with this video, you will want to pause this video until you have Gretel open to the main screen, which looks like this. When you open the main Gretel screen, you will notice that there is no data entered into Gretel. We are going to download 2 data series from CanSim. CanSim is a database for Statistics Canada's socioeconomic data. The data series are free of charge as long as you log in using your Queen's student ID. If you are connected to the internet on campus, you are automatically logged in. The 2 series that we want to download are V735062 and V735061. These series are for the average retail price of unleaded regular gasoline from full-service stations in 2 urban centers. The first is for the Ottawa-Gatineau area, and the second is for Toronto. The first step to downloading the series is to open the Queen's University Library website, which is library.queensu.ca. There are a lot of steps to follow, so please follow along closely. Now what we want to do is select the tab Databases and search CanSim. There are 2 different databases. We want to select eStat. After reading the eStat license agreement, select Accept and Enter. Under the Information for Students, select Search CanSim in eStat. Now we will enter the 2 series that we want to extract. The first series is V735062 and the second series is V735061. Separate the 2 series using a comma. Now you will see the description of the 2 series that we are going to extract. Select both series and click to continue. We want to download the data from January of 1979 until January of 2011. Select these dates from the drop-down menu. The format that I like to use is under Downloadable Files. Select comma-separated values, or CSV, -time as rows, and then click Retrieve Now. A window will open asking you whether to open or save the file. Let's open the file. Finally, we have extracted our data series. You can see that there are 3 columns in Excel, with the first column being the date and the second 2 columns being the series that we extracted. Now, let's format it so it can be easily imported into gretel. First, delete the first 3 rows of the Excel file by highlighting 1, 2, and 3 and right-clicking on the highlighted area and select Delete. Now we will save the file. I'm going to save the file to the desktop. Give the file the name Retail Gasoline and then click on the drop-down menu beside Save As Type and select Excel 97-2003. This is the most important step because at this point in time, gretel does not recognize newer versions of Excel. Now we are ready to import the data into gretel. There are many different ways to import data into gretel, but I will show you the way that I usually use when working in gretel. Open up the main gretel screen. From the menu on the main gretel screen, click File, Open Data, Import, and then Excel. In case you did not catch this the first time, I will repeat this. Click on File, Open Data, Import, Excel. Once you click on Excel, a new window opens asking you to locate the file. Since I've saved the file on the desktop, I will click on Desktop on the left-hand side and click Retail Gasoline followed by Open. Another window pops up asking us where to start the import. Given the way we have formatted the data, we want to start at column 1 and row 1. Now, click OK. A window pops up giving you some information about the import. Since we formatted the data in Excel, you can see that gretel recognizes the data. It also recognizes that the data has a monthly frequency. It is always a good idea to check that the start and end date are correct because sometimes gretel makes mistakes. In this case, gretel is correct, so click Close. Now you can see the 2 variables V735062 and V735061. It is a good idea to add a description because it is difficult to remember which series goes with each city. To add a description, click on the first data series V735062. Once it is highlighted in blue, right-click on the blue area and select Edit Attributes. We are going to give it the description Ottawa-Gatineau, retail price of regular gasoline, open bracket, cents per liter, close bracket. We will make a shorter display name, which is Ottawa-Gatineau. I will pause for a few seconds so you can type in this information. Once you have typed in the information, click OK. I like to include a lot of information in the description to make sure that I do not forget what the data is if I end up using the data file again in the future. Following the same method, let's add a description to the second data series by clicking on V735061. Once it is highlighted in blue, right-click on the blue area and select Edit Attributes. We are going to give it the description Toronto, retail price of regular gasoline, open bracket, cents per liter, close bracket. We will make a shorter display name, Toronto. Now click OK. Now we can move on to the 4th item we will cover in this video, creating a time series plot. We are going to create one time series plot that includes both variables. This will let us see whether there is a relationship between the prices in the 2 cities. To create the time series plot, go back to the main gretel screen. Once you're on the main gretel screen, left-click on the Ottawa-Gatineau series and select both data series by dragging the mouse down. When you release the left click, both series should be highlighted in blue. Now you want to right-click on the blue area and select Time Series Plot from the menu. Since we want both series to be plotted on the same graph, select On a Single Graph. Once you click OK, the graph will open. Both series are trending upward and do not seem to deviate far from each other. Notice that the legend contains the shorter version of the description. In the next video, we will learn how to customize graphs, but for now, we will move on to the last item covered in this video. The last thing we will learn in this video is how to define new variables in gretl. We are going to define 4 new variables. First, we will create the log of both variables. Next, we will create the first difference of the Ottawa-Gatineau series. Lastly, we will perform a basic mathematical operation by calculating the difference in price between the Ottawa-Gatineau series and the Toronto series. Let's get started by opening the main gretl screen. To create the log of both series, select both variables. Once they are highlighted in blue, select Add from the main menu, followed by Logs of selected variables. 2 new variables are added to the list of variables. They both start with L underscore. Next, we will create the first difference of the Ottawa-Gatineau series. To create this variable, click on the Ottawa-Gatineau variable, and then select Add from the main menu, followed by first difference of selected variables. Notice that the variable that is created starts with D underscore. This indicates that the variable has been differenced. Now, we want to create the variable that is equal to the difference between the Ottawa-Gatineau and Toronto series. Right-click on the right area of the gretl main screen and select Define New Variable. We will call the new variable O underscore T. To create the variable, follow this format exactly. Type O underscore T equals V735062 subtract V735061. Make sure that both V's are lowercase. Now click OK. This is the same format that is used for any basic mathematical operation. The operations are identical to those in Excel. For example, to multiply, you use an asterisk, which is Shift 8, and to use an exponent, you use the hat key, which is Shift 6. We have now learned how to create variables, but let's now delete some variables. We are going to delete all of the variables that we just created, except the original 2 variables. You can do this in one simple step by selecting all 3 variables and right-clicking and selecting Delete from the menu. Now we are going to save this file because we will use it again in some of the future videos in this series. To save the dataset as a gretl file, select File from the main menu, followed by Save Data. Keep the name as Retail Gasoline. Now you can open this file in gretl without having to import the data. We have now finished learning some of the basics about gretl. Before wrapping up the video, let me summarize the 3 key points to remember. Number 1, CanSim is a good source for Canadian socioeconomic data, and it is free for Queen's students. Number 2, when importing an Excel file into gretl, make sure that it is an XLS file, not an XLSX file. And number 3, basic mathematical operations used to create new variables are identical to those used in Excel. This concludes the first video in the gretl Instructional Video Series.